Okay, so now we're for part two of the video. I'm going to teach you how to make your own 3D models using a tool, a free online tool called Tinkercad. So I'll have you create an account in Tinkercad. The website is tinkercad.com. And when you go to the website, there'll be actually you'll use this URL, join class. This is the code that we'll use to create your account. And what this will do, this will put you in a class that I've created so that I can monitor your progress. I can jump into your projects, help you add or to subtract or fix models that you're having a little trouble with. All right, and so when you go into follow this URL, Tinkercad join class. Let me see how this is going to look. So if I click this here, let's open up a window just to walk us through it here. This is where you'll put that code. The code that you'll want to put in is this one, 7YNQXNKG7. When you put that in there, it'll take you to your class and you make an account. You can use any email address you would like to make your account. Once you're in Tinkercad, the first thing you're going to do, let me take you on a little tour here of Tinkercad. So once you're in there, you'll see a couple different things. There's you can make 3D designs. You can also do some circuitry design, and you can also do some coding. I haven't explored these two very much yet, but you'll also notice that you can actually use Tinkercad on an iPad. And here is a link for that other program, Fusion 360, that we talked about before. So when we start tinkering, we're going to go here to 3D designs. I'll give you a little tour of what to expect when we model here. So let's start tinkering here. Okay, this is not what you'll see. This is my class here. Let's see. Start tinkering. Here we go. Let's go to... Sorry about this. Let's see if I can make this work here. Okay, start tinkering. Still bringing me back here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Under designs, I'm going to create a new design here. New 3D design. You won't have access to that background. That's what I have for my class. Wow, that's neat. So the first thing you notice, if I come back to here under Tinkercad, I also want to show you right under here, under where it says resources. And this is the Learning Center here. So the first thing you're going to do, I'm going to give you a little intro to Tinkercad, but I also would highly, highly recommend using these tutorials here, the Learn 3D Designs. And there are, I would do place it, view it, move it, rotate it, size it, group it, copy it, duplicate it, hide it, align it, and creating holes. So that's about 11 tutorials that will really help you in navigating Tinkercad. That's the hardest part about learning how to 3D model using this program, is learning how to see in this three-dimensional space. All right? So I highly recommend those. We're going to come back. I'll come back and make a model here for us here. All right. We're going to go to designs, and I'm going to make a new model here. The first thing I'll have you notice is that in Tinkercad, it always gives your file a weird name. Fantabulous Volt Jakes. We're just going to call, you can call it whatever you want. Call it Matt's First Demo. Okay. So you got your file name. I'll give you a little tour here. This is your work plane. You might consider this the same as the plate on the 3D printer. And this is where a mouse is going to be really, really helpful in this program, because it's really hard to do 3D modeling with a trackpad, I found. So a mouse is really helpful. And so there's a right mouse click and a left mouse click. I'm currently pressing down on the right mouse click, and I'm pressing and holding, and you'll see as I'm turning my mouse, I can turn my plane and look at it in different directions. You'll also notice when I'm turning it, this little square, little cube over here, also is turning as well. Okay. If I click the home button, it'll bring me back to the home view. This one, what does this do here? Let's see. Not going to tell me. Oh, let's see. It says fit all in view. Oh, okay. So if I zoom in and I hit that button, it doesn't do anything, but that'll bring me back to home. This zooms in, minus zooms out. You can also zoom in and out with your scroll. Okay, that'll be helpful. You'll also notice down here there's a snap grid button. This is very helpful. It says 1/8 inch. I would also click on settings here. Let's change our units to millimeters. That's very helpful. And we'll go from there. Okay, millimeters is helpful because everything is based on 10. When you start 3D modeling in inches, it's going to get real confusing real fast with quarter inches, half inches, 3/8, 7/16. Millimeters is very simple. And snap grid, what that lets you do is it allows you to literally snap the grid so it'll determine where your pieces snap to. And what I mean by that, if you look, the whole thing is a grid here, right? And each one of these is, I think, 1 millimeter, right? And so if you have this on a 5 millimeters, I'm going to bring out a square here, and you'll see what it does is it snaps every 5 blocks, and a block is, I guess, 1 millimeter, right? And you'll see, so it moves every 5. If I lower this down, let's say I move this to 1, now look, you see it snaps as it's moving 1 millimeter at a time. If I go down even further to 0.1 millimeter, you can get really fine movements, right? And then if you want none, if you don't want any, you can move it whatever way you like. I usually keep it set to 0.5 or 1 is a good place to start, because then it keeps everything lined up. It's an easy, helpful way to do that. Okay. Okay, so now over here to this, I'm going to move my camera over here to the side here. You'll see you have all these basic shapes, right? You've got squares, cylinders, spheres. This is a doodle tool. You've got a roof, a cone, a half a circle. There's a text tool, and so on and so on. You go all the way down here. If you click basic shapes, there's also all sorts of other things, characters and creatures, structure and hardware. I would actually stay away from all these. They're not very helpful when you're 3D modeling, and I would really just stay with your basic shapes. That's the place I would do most of my work. Other things don't print very well. A lot of teachers use this program just to model on the screen, and then maybe the kids, the students are going to use, these different creatures and characters within their scene. But I would definitely just stay within your basic shapes. Okay, so I'm going to drag out a square. I'll bring it onto my plate here. A couple things you're going to notice: you have all of these nodes on your object here. So you've got white nodes on each corner. You also have black nodes on this in the middle of each one. You've got a little triangle at the top. So let's look at one of these things do. So if I'm going to always hold the shift button too. So when I hold shift and I click on this white square on the corner, you'll see when I scale it, it actually scales proportionally because I'm holding shift. If I don't hold shift and I scale it, you'll see your shape will not be proportional, and it's only scaling in that one direction. Okay. Command Z is undo. Same thing with this dot here. I'm going to push square on the middle node here, and when I pull this open, you'll see it kind of scales my object proportionally. All right. This one here, this little triangle at the top, if I click this and pull up, it lifts it off the plate. And you can see actually this number changes as I raise it up and down, right? One thing I'll show you that they don't show you in the tutorials is to bring a ruler out. It's really important. So just throw it anywhere on your plate. It doesn't really matter. What I like about that is that now every time I click on my object, you'll see it gives me all of the measurements at all times. So this cube currently is 26 millimeters by 26 millimeters by 26. All right, so let's say I want this to be a little bigger. Let's say I want this to be 50. I can actually change that by clicking on and changing the number manually, and that will change the dimensions of my object there. Again, I can also just move it back down like that if I want you to 26. Okay. Remember this one lifts it up and down. You'll see that now it's 20 millimeters above the plate. If I want it to be down at the bottom again, I can always just click here and put 0, and it'll be on the plate. Okay. The last thing I want to show you is these arrows here around. Right? You'll see these are how you rotate objects, and you can, if I pull out the mouse, you see there's a little red line going up and down. That's how far I'm pulling out. I can rotate to the 1 degree, or if I kind of have it inside my square or inside my circle there, it rotates it every 22.5 degrees. All right, so that's helpful too. You can rotate on different axes. You can rotate this axis, and you can rotate this axis as well. All right. A lot of these things I'll show you in tutorials, but I do like to show you a few things before you start. You can bring in another object here. We can combine them. Let's say I want to pull this up to here, right? Now I've got two objects together. The color doesn't really matter. The color doesn't, you can color your objects if you want, if it helps you to visualize, but really the only color it's going to print is the color of filament that we have in the printer at the time, right? So now if I select both objects and I hit this button here, this is the group button, you'll see what it is now. These objects are now one. Okay, one object here. Okay. Let me undo that and I'll show you another trick here. If I take my object here and I turn this object into what's called a hole, and I bring this in the middle, right? Let me scoot it down a little bit so you can see that it goes kind of all the way through. Now watch what happens when I group these two. If I group these objects and I hit group, it actually made a hole in my shape. Okay. All right. So when you do your tutorials, you're going to cover a lot of different things. You're going to cover moving it, scaling it. You'll also cover aligning it and grouping it, and these are all these tools up here as well. Okay. All right. So Tinkercad is a good tool. It's great for elementary students, so I know that you can do it too. Right. So even if I just wanted to make some, what just happened? That was weird. Some weird shape. Like this is an object for my game. This is a game piece. Right. Oh, look at that. It like sticks to the side now. That was really weird. I don't want to do that. Let me bring my cone to the top here. I'll bring it all the way up. I'm going to show you the align tool. This is something they'll teach you too. If I select both tools, I hit this align button, you get all these nodes. Now watch, I can align my piece. Now it's perfectly centered there. Right? So let's say I want these two pieces to be grouped. I'll group these two together here. And then I want everything to be lined up. Right? I'll select all my objects. I'll hit align. Now watch this. If I hit this one, they all align over here. This one will align them in the middle. That's what I want. Look at that. That's a perfect game piece for my new game. And let me group these together so they'll be the same. There we go. That looks beautiful. I have no idea what it is, but it looks perfect. Okay, that sounds great. And so the last, here's the tutorials that I wanted to show you. The last couple things today. There are some lessons that you can do if you want to learn how to make different glasses or different objects for your game. Those lessons will help you as well.